Hey, good morning. It's your boy Jay Staff. I'm here at the Forum Mall in Gwinnett County. This morning we will be talking to random people about the state of America today. We'll be asking them 3 questions. The first question will be, what does America look like to you? The second question would be, what could the president do to make America great for everybody? And the third question would be, what are you willing to do to make America great for everyone? So we'll be asking these 3 questions here at the mall, just random people coming by. It's a beautiful 4th of July morning, 2020. What a great day. Be talking about America and its state of mind at this time on the birthday of the United States. So that's what we've been doing this morning. We're going to be here. We're going to talk to everybody that will talk to us. We're going to put this on camera, and it's going to be a great day. Hey, good morning.
Good morning.
I'm here with Mallum. My name is Jonathan Stafford, and we're here at the Forum. And we're doing this video for YouTube channel. This is My America. And Mallum's going to talk to us a little bit about here. I'm going to ask him 3 questions. The first question is going to be, what does America look like to you?
America to me is a paradox of an idea that's beautiful and wonderful, and a dream, and on the other end, sort of a nightmare for people of color.
Wow. Okay, so what do you think our current president, what do you think he could do to make America great for everyone?
Sure. The one thing that you look for from the president, because in our country, a president's not a king, right? So it's like sort of a figurehead, right? And it's connected to other parts of government.
Right.
So we're looking for a president. What we need him to do is set a tone of bringing us together, because right now we're divided.
Right.
Even though there's a disease out there telling us we're all connected. Right? So we need him to help provide context to that, inspire us to help us move forward. How do we get out? And to galvanize the people around him that he's leading to create a pathway for us to do that.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
3-point plan.
That's awesome. Okay, so the last question. What are you willing to do? I mean, we all play a part. You know, we all got a part to do in far as making America great for everyone. What are you willing to do in your circle of influence to make America great for everyone?
Sure. I'll tell you what I've been doing. So there's 3 things. One is educating myself. Because when we know better, we do better.
Right.
Okay? And we have to know our history as well, because we've been taught what's called a confabulation. We've been taught stories that aren't really true. You know, Abraham Lincoln never told a lie. George Washington cut down the cherry tree. These are things that are just fantasies we've been taught, right? Or that all people of color were slaves, right? Well, our history started so much long before that.
Wow.
So let's start by educating ourselves so that we know better, we do better.
Right.
That'll also give us a context of once we educate ourselves, then let's move toward educating the people around us. Let's start with our immediate family, let's start with our communities, and then expand out. Right? Because the idea of having community with one another is one of the things that's going to be healing. Right? Because if we're neighbors, right? We're living together in a neighborhood. Right? But if we're not neighbors, we're living in a hood. Woo!
Man, that's deep.
So that's how we need to connect. We need to make sure we're finding that transaction with one another, right? To that. And then the third thing that we want to do is we can't sit back and wait for someone else to drive the change. We have to be part of the change. We need to take action. Right. So, and let me break down the 3-point plan, what the action's about. Man, get out and vote. Do your history. Know who you're voting for. We could block vote because it's power in numbers, but let's rethink that negotiation. Let's not just say, oh, we're going to vote for this person without requesting something of that person. Right? Because you're an elected official, but you want to vote them in to create value for us, but you also want to capture value back.
That's right.
Right? So we want to make sure that we're doing that. The next thing that we can do besides just vote is just get active, hold people accountable. Accountability is deep, right?
Yes.
That's a letter, that's an email, that's a post. Hold accountable. And then the third thing is this country's founded on a policy of money, which is really not real. It's backed by nothing but war. Right? But now that we know that that's how they're backed, let's be smart about how we spend that money. How we save that money, and how we invest that money.
Wow.
So those are the parts of activism.
That's really deep, man. But you talked about the voting, and you know, especially black people, you know, one thing that's always handed down from generation to generation is the Democratic vote. You know, we don't know why. You know, grandmama did it. You know, dad, mom did it, and we don't ask questions. So yeah, we must educate ourselves and see what's in it for us. You know, that's not bad. That's not bad for us. Ask that and expect that. And but I know you've been around for the last 2-3 months, and there've been some cases that have taken place, murders that have taken place, that really put us in the situation that we're in right now. For example, the Ahmaud Arbery down in Brownsville, Georgia. What one word could you use to describe that murder?
Justice. We've got to bring justice. He was tried and convicted and executed in the street.
Right.
That's a lynching.
Right. And I've heard that, referred to that. I even talked about that on my Facebook page. Yeah. I said it was a modern day lynching. Yeah. So you're absolutely right. I mean, how do you feel about the progress of that case in Brownsville? How do you feel about the way it's moving along? I mean, do you feel good about a conviction, or what do you think about that?
You know, I'm always hopeful. Yeah. But I'm also with one eye open skeptic about it. So I'm not sure we're really making progress. Right. Because the 3 guys that killed him, yes, they need justice, but the framework that they felt empowered to kill them with, that's what we need to address. Yeah. Or we'll just keep locking up police officers and random white folks.
Yes, you're absolutely right. What about George Floyd?
So the George Floyd thing was deep. I think there are a couple of things that hit that touch base. First of all, within I think the last maybe 10 years, there are about 70 people that actually told a police officer, I can't breathe, and they died. Right. So that's not the first that happened. Right. It happened in video with people home because we're locked in, right? But what was really deep about this brother when he reached out and the energy that came from him was he also called for his mother who's passed. Yes. So now he's tapping into the ancestors. He's in that transition. And I believe it's the energy of all of that that's drawing our attention to what happened, to what's going on. And again, the issue is more than just police policy, right? What is the environment by which this officer grew up in, where he felt it would be okay on video day and night that put his knee on someone? Now, he is not that crazy, right? He had to have a belief that he could get away with that. Right? And that's what we have to address. What's that framework that allowed them to feel that empowerment? Where is that coming from? Right? And then the other part of it is, and I know we like to address it racially, race is just a competition. That's what a race is. Right? What we really need to do is address it sociologically. Right? What are the conditions that are existing that's causing us to be in these type of people of color negative interaction with police officers in our communities? You know?
And we also speak about that on the Facebook page as well. But yeah, I mean, you spoke about that. That was a situation where it wasn't the first time it happened, but it was just in the manner in which it happened, and everybody saw it, and the outrage, and the officer guy, Derek Chauvin, he had been written up 18 times before. One time he shot a black man twice in the stomach, and they wrote him the police chief made it disappear. They wrote him a check, no charges were filed, and he continued to go on and practice law. So I think just as important, man, the police chief, a lot of times they know when they have people on the force that are not legit or they got a problem, and they need to do a better job at getting rid of these people before we have a situation like that. All right, the last one.
Well, can I weigh on that?
Yes, go ahead.
Because remember, we're going back to the framework, a system that allowed that to build up and happen.
Right.
So I'm going to build on what you're saying, if you don't mind. So we have a couple of things that's happening. We have a system where why were police created in the first place? Why were guns created in the first place? We got to get to the etiology of this. You follow what I'm saying? And then we have to think, now we know why police were created in the first place. I'll give you a hint, right? It really is to protect white people from black people and to treat us like property. You check your history, you'll see that's where they were formed, where they were created, what that's about, right? Officer, overseer, that's keeping us in check.
Yes.
Okay, the second thing we need to do is think, why do we have a system where we're just dialing 911 and calling police for issues of which are there they say protect and serve against crime, for sociological, psychological issues, right? We're asking an uneducated person, right, who has a sense of entitlement from a systemic racial environment that he was raised up into, to come in and de-escalate a dynamic where he is feeling inferior to the person that he is arresting.
Yeah, that's good.
Right? And I mean, scientifically recessive to him, physically weaker than him, right? That is, and smaller than he is. Right? So that dynamic of asking that person, now I'm saying he should serve his time.
Right.
But to ask him to come in and navigate an issue like that,
wow.
That's our problem. We've not advanced from 16, 17, and 1800s in the way that we deal with conflict in our community.
Right. Whew, that's deep. That's deep, man. So yeah, and then the last one, the Rashad Brooks in Atlanta.
Yeah.
That one word to describe it. What do you think about that?
Man, it's the same thing, right? It's manity, it's insanity. That's what's happening, insanity. Because again, something that could have been de-escalated without crime, without weapons, right? When you called someone with a stun gun and a stun gun and a gun, and you asked him to deal with a person who was inebriated and sleep. What did you think he was going to do? What did the city think this person's going to do when he shows up? And again, add that condition in, right? Recessive, physically weaker, intimidated, not from that community, right? With a false sense of authority, right? Based on the confabulation, that's a lie someone told him honestly, that he is superior.
That condition right there is, I've never heard anybody say that before. I've never heard that before. But that, what you saying right there, it opens up my eyes to a lot of what's going on, especially when it comes to the interaction with the police and unarmed black men. What people say, you know, well, he resists arrest. So if he wouldn't resist arrest, he'd be alive. What do you think about that?
Again, why did it come? It's the wrong framework. That's why it's hard to address it. Arrest should not have been the issue there. Right? They needed some de-escalation. A social worker could have handled that without a firearm, right? And then afterwards, he's not driving now. He's not a threat to you, right? Let's see if we can get him some help, because there's a reason why he was drinking so much that he's at Wendy's and he's sleeping in the first place.